Hello friends, in this video we learn about the solution part of our unit test 2. Okay, so here subject mathematics and total marks 25. So we just start with the question number 1. So let's start it. First of all, here read the question. Angle PRT is an exterior angle of triangle PQR if angle P is equals to 70 degree and angle Q is equals to 50 degree, then angle PRT is equals to. Here we need to write the answer, but for that, first of all, we need to make the figure. Okay, here if you look at the name of the triangle, then it is PQR. Here P, Q and R, and one exterior angle is given to you, angle PRT. So P, R and T. Here we have one exterior angle, and that we need to find here. Angle PRT is equals to. Okay. One more thing, angle P is equals to 70 degree and angle Q is equals to 50 degree. Now if you know the exterior angle property, here, then you can easily find the answer of angle PRT. That means this one. Okay, because angle PRT, exterior angle, is equals to sum of other two interior angles. Exterior angle is equals to sum of other two interior angles. So other two interior angle, it is P and Q, and we know that the value of angle P and Q. So here we just need to add 70 and 50. So 70 plus 50, 120. 120 is the answer of this exterior angle. Okay, because what is the exterior angle property? Exterior angle is equals to sum of other two interior angles. So other two interior angles 70 and 50 sum, that means we need to find the addition. So 70 plus 50, 120 is the answer of this question. Okay, so here we need to select 120, option D. Okay, and here all the questions we have of 1 marks, right? So total 25 MCQ is there, 25 marks is there. So our first answer is option D, 120. After that, question number 2. Angle A and angle B are supplementary angles. Angle A and B are supplementary angles, and if angle A ZEM angle B is equals to 3 ZEM 7, then angle B is equals to. So here we need to find the value of angle B. Okay. Before that, here angle A and B are supplementary angles. Angle A and B are supplementary angles. Supplementary angle means what? Addition of these two angles is equals to 180 degree. Okay, supplementary angles means what? Addition of these two angles is equals to 180 degree. And one ratio is given to you. So we can assume our two angles as per this ratio. So assume angle A is equals to 3x and angle B is equals to 7x, because ratio is 3:7, right? So 3x and 7x. Now these two angles are supplementary angles. Supplementary angles, so angle A plus angle B is equals to 180 degree. Now put the value of angle A and angle B here. Angle A is equals to 3x and angle B is equals to 7x. So 3x plus 7x is equals to 180 degree. Now 7x plus 3x, it is 10x. So 10x is equals to 180 degree. Okay, 10x is equals to 180 degree. Now remember this thing. Here we get 10x is equals to 180 degree. Now we need to find the value of angle x. So transfer this 10 to the right hand side. It goes to the denominator. So 180 divided by 10. So x is equals to, here 0 0 cancel, 18. So our value of x, it is 18. But here in question we need to find angle B, right? So we need to put this value here, angle B 7x. So x is equals to 18. That means angle B is equals to 7 multiply 18. Okay. angle B is equals to 7x. So 7 multiply 18. 18 sevens are 126. So our answer is 126. So here option D is our correct answer, 126. Okay. After that, question number 3. Take this question. A balanced die is tossed once. The probability of getting number 6 on the die is, a balanced die is tossed once. The probability of getting number 6 on the die. So total how many possibilities are there for the die? Okay. If we write here total outcomes, otherwise total observations, otherwise total possibility. So on die we have total 6 numbers, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6. So if you toss a die, then either 1 will come, either 2 will come, either 3 will come, either 4 will come, either 5 will come, otherwise 6 will come. Total 6 possibilities are there, right? And it is written that a balanced die is tossed once, that means only one time. Now the probability of getting number 6 on the die. So what is the formula of probability? What is the formula of probability? It is a favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes, right? Favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. So here favorable outcomes. So how many times 6 is there in total possibility? How many times 6 is there? So only one time we have 6, right? If we toss a die and 6 will come, that possibility we have only one time, right? Because we have total 6 possibility, in that 6 is only one time, so in numerator 1, and total outcomes, so total 6 possibilities are there, so divided by 6. Okay, favorable outcomes, that means what are the chances of 6 will come? So only one time 6 is there, right? So favorable outcomes for 6, it is 1, and divided by total number of outcomes, it is 6. So 1 by 6. So here our answer is option D, 1 by 6. Okay. After that, question number 4. The probability of the impossible event. Okay, this is theory based question. The probability of the impossible event is 0. We already learned these things in our theory part, right? Probability of the impossible event is 0 and probability of certain or sure event is equals to 1. Right, so here our answer is 0, option B. After that, question number 5. Out of the 50 students in a class, out of the 50 students in a class, 22 are girls. Out of the 50 students in a class, 22 are girls. The probability that a student who gets first rank is a boy is. We need to find the probability for boy. So first of all we need to find total how many boys are there. Okay, here we need to find the probability for boy. So first of all we need to find total how many boys are there. So here total number of students is 50 and out of that 22 are girls. So remaining all are boys, right? So first of all number of boys, 50 minus 22, so 28, right? So in 50 students 22 are girls and 28 are boys. So after that probability, number of boys, it is in numerator 28 favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes, that means total number of students. So here we have total 50 students, right? So 28 by 50. And here if we see the option, then it is given in the decimal number, right? So here we need to divide 28 by 50. For that you can multiply and divide with 2. If you multiply 2 and if you divide 2, then there is no changes, right? So here 28 into 2, 56, and 50 into 200, right? Here we get 100, that's why I multiply numerator and denominator by 2 because I want denominator as a 100. Now we do not need to do the division process. 56 by 100. So in denominator we have two zeros, right? In denominator we have two zeros. So in numerator before two digit we need to put decimal point. In numerator we have 56. Before this two digit we need to put decimal point. Nothing is remaining. So 0.56. Okay. 56 by 100 it is 0.56. So here our option D is correct. 0.56. Okay, option D is correct. After that, question number 6. The probability of scoring 73 marks in a test, in a 100 marks test is. So here we need to find the probability. For that, in numerator, favorable outcomes. Now here we need to find the probability for 73 marks. It does not mean that our favorable outcome is 73. Okay, but what we need to check, we just need to check how many times 73 will come in 1 to 100. Okay. Total how many marks are, so total how many possibilities are there for 73 marks. Okay, so here first of all we just need to check total how many times 73 will come. So here our numerator is 73. Okay, sorry, numerator is only 1 because only 1 time 73 is there, right? In 1 to 100 total one possibility is there for 73 because only 1 time 73 will come, right? So in 1 to 100 total possibility for 73 it is only 1 and divided by total marks 100, right? So our answer is 1 by 100, option A. Okay, 7 chances for 73 will come, it is only 1 divided by total marks 100, so 1 by 100. One more thing, here we consider the marks 1 to 100, otherwise correct answer is 1 divided by 101. 1 divided by 101. Why? Because if 100 marks test is there, so total how many possibilities are there? Okay, total 100 marks test is there, so total 101 possibilities are there because marks can be 0 even, right? Someone got the 0 marks, so that even we need to consider here. So total how many possibility? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 100. So total 1 to 100 and this 0, so total number of possibility is 101. Okay, so if you think like this, that means if you consider the 0 even, then correct answer is 1 divided by 101. But here we consider only 100 marks, that's why 1 upon 100 is the correct answer. Okay, in actually it is 1 upon 101 because we also need to consider the 0 because someone marks can be 0 even, right? So total possibility 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. So total number of possibility 101 and in that 73 comes only one time, so 1 upon 101. Okay, after that question number 7. Here 0.3 bar and we need to convert it into the P by Q form because our options are given in the P by Q form. So this method we learn in chapter number 1, right? So first of all what we need to do, first of all assume x is equals to 0. Now 3 bar, that means 3 repeats infinite number of times, right? 0.3 bar, it means 3 repeats infinite number of times. Now our second step is bar is given on the one digit only, right? Here we have bar sign on the one digit only. If that is the one digit, so here we need to multiply this equation by 10. If two digits are given to you, then we need to multiply with 100. If three digits are given to you, then we need to multiply with 1000. If four digits are given to you, we need to multiply with 10,000, right? But here we have only one digit, one repeating digit, so here we need to multiply with 10. Now if you multiply with this equation with 10, so here x becomes 10x and here if we multiply with 10, okay, so there is only 1 0 in 10, so one digit comes forward, so 3.33333 continuously. Okay, if you multiply 0.33333 by 10, then one digit comes forward before the decimal point, so it becomes 3.3333 continuously. Okay, now from this second equation we need to subtract our first equation. From second equation we need to subtract our first equation. So our first equation is what? X is equals to 0.3333 continuously, right? From second equation 10x is equals to 3.3333, we need to subtract our equation number 1, x is equals to 0.3333 continuously. Now here we subtract, that's why we need to put the subtraction sign, otherwise we need to change the sign. So now 10x minus 1x, it is 9x, and here after decimal point all the three cancel, right? Because subtraction process is there, so all the three cancel, and 3 minus 0, it's a 3 only. Here 3 minus 0, it's a 3, and 0.000, that means only 3 we have. Now transfer this 9 to the right hand side, so it goes to the denominator, so 3 by 9, we can simplify this, 3 3s are, so 1 by 3. So our final answer is 1 by 3, option C. Okay, here we cannot directly say that 3 by 10. Okay, that means directly remove the decimal point and 3 by 10. But here our correct answer is 1 by 3, that means 3 by 9. Okay. After that, question number 8. Under root 5 multiply under root 5 is n. Which number? So under root 5 multiply under root 5, it's only 5. Under root 5 multiply under root 5, it's only 5. Why? Because under root 5 multiply under root 5, so in under root 5 multiply 5, 25, and square root of 25 is 5. This is integer number, right? This is integer number and positive integer number, so we can say that 5 is a natural number, so our answer is B, natural number. Because other options are irrational, this is not a irrational number, this is not negative number, this is not fraction number, right? So our answer, correct answer is option B, natural number. Okay. After that, simplify the following number. Simplify the following number. Here 5 raised to minus 2 raised to 3, exponent of exponent is given to you. If exponent of exponent is given to you, then we need to multiply this to exponent. That means minus 2 multiply 3. Okay, exponent of exponent, we need to multiply it. So 5 raised to 3 to the 6 plus minus minus, that means 5 raised to minus 6. Okay, here 5 raised to minus 6. Now if we want to convert this exponent into positive exponent, okay, so we need to take the reciprocal. Here nothing is there in denominator, so 1, so 1 by 5 raised to 6. If we take the reciprocal, then sign of exponent will be changed. Okay, so first of all, here 3 to the 6 and plus minus minus, if we want to convert in the positive exponent, so we need to take the reciprocal, so it becomes 1 upon 5 raised to 6. So here our option C is correct, 1 upon 5 raised to 6. If we want to change the sign of exponent, then we need to take the reciprocal. Okay, so here our option C is correct. After that, question number 10. This is somehow similar with the question number 8, but one little difference is that in question number 8 it is under root 5 multiply under root 5 is there, but here we have under root 5 plus under root 5. So here we cannot write under root 10, this is the wrong answer. But here what we need to write, under root 5 plus under root 5, it's a 2 under root 5. Okay, under root 5 plus under root 5, it is 2 under root 5. So 2 under root 5, it is irrational number. Why? Because here under root 5 is irrational number. We already proved this in our exercise 1.3. Right? Under root 5 is an irrational number. So that 2 under root 5, it is even irrational number, because rational number multiply irrational number is irrational number, that we learn in the theory part of our chapter number 1. So alternately 2 under root 5, it is irrational number. So option B is correct, irrational number. Okay. After that, question number 11. For p of x is equals to x cube plus 9x square plus 26x plus 24. Here we need to find p of minus 2. P of minus 2 we need to find. If we want to find the p of minus 2, then what we need to do? We just need to put the value of x is equals to minus 2 here. Okay, we need to find the value of x is equals to minus 2 here. So here p of minus 2 is equals to now x cube. So minus 2 all cube plus 9x square. So 9 into x. So minus 2 square plus 26x. So 26 into minus 2 plus 24. Now here minus 2 all cube. It's a 8. 2 cube. That means 2 multiply 2 multiply 2 3 times. So 2 multiply 2 4. 4 to the 8. And here our exponent is odd, so negative number remains negative. Okay, so negative minus 8. Now plus minus 2 all square, it is plus 4. Minus 2 all square, it is plus 4, and plus 4 multiply 9, it is 36. Okay, minus 2 all square, it is 4, and 4 multiply this 9, 36, because a square always have a positive number. Okay, if we want to find the square, then answer of square is always positive number. So minus 2 square, it becomes plus 4, and plus 4 into 9, 36. Now here plus minus minus 26 into 2, 52. Plus minus minus 26 into 2, 52, and plus 24. Okay, now here first two number plus minus minus 36 minus 8, 28. Big number 36 have positive sign, so positive sign. And here even plus minus minus 52 minus 24, it's a 28, right? It's a 28. And big number sign, big number 52 have negative sign, so negative sign. So 28 minus 28, it is 0, right? So our answer is option D, 0. Okay, x cube minus 2 all cube plus 9 into minus 2 all square plus 26 into minus 2 plus 24. If we simplify this, then we get the answer 0. Okay, then question number 12. Here, which is one of the zeros of p of x is equals to x cube plus 7x square plus 11x plus 5. Now, what do you mean by zeros of polynomial? It is that kind of value of x. For that, value of polynomial becomes 0. Okay, if we put the value in place of x, then we get the answer 0. So here one by one you need to check all the options. That means you need to put the value here, and if you get the answer 0, then that is the correct answer of zeros of polynomial. Okay, so here our option A, first of all 1, so put the value here 1. So 1 all cube plus 7 into 1 all square plus 11 into 1 plus 5. Okay, so 1 cube 1, 7 into 1 square 1 into 7, 7 plus 11 ones are 11 plus 5. So 7 plus 1, 8, 8 plus 11, 19 plus 5, 23. This is not equals to 0. So this is not the correct answer. Then put the minus 1. So minus 1 all cube, 7 into minus 1 all square plus 11 into minus 1 plus 5. Now minus 1 all cube, it is minus 1 only. minus 1 whole square, it is plus 1 into 7, 7. Here plus minus minus, 11 ones are 11 and plus 5. Okay, so here 7 plus 5, 12, and here minus minus plus 11 plus 12, 11 plus 1, 12. Big number 11 have negative sign, so negative sign, and finally 12 minus 12, 0. Okay, so here we get the answer 0, so this is the our correct answer, option B. Okay, so option B is our correct answer. Now if we put the value x is equals to 5, so 5 all cube plus 7 into 5 all square plus 11 into 5 plus 5. 5 all cube 125, 5 square 25 into 7 175, 11 into 5 55 plus 5. Here if we add all the numbers, so definitely we do not get the answer 0. That's why this is not the correct answer. So here after that check the minus 6. So minus 6 all cube plus 7 into minus 6 all square plus 11 into minus 6 plus 5. So minus 6 all cube, 6 cube it is 216 and negative sign. Here 6 square 36, 36 into 7, 7 6 is 42, 4 7 3 is 21 plus 4 25, and here 11 6 is 66 plus minus minus and plus 5. Now here 252 minus 216, so 12 minus 6 6, 4 minus 1 3, so 36, right? And big number 252 have plus sign, so here positive sign. Now here plus minus minus, 66 minus 5 61, big number 66 have negative sign, so this is even not equals to 0, so this is even not the correct answer. So here our answer is option B, minus 1. Okay, option B, minus 1 is the correct answer. After that, question number 13. So here 4x square minus 20x plus 25, we need to factorize it. Okay, so here which identity we can apply, that we need to think here. Okay, so here this is the form of x square minus 2xy plus y square, because 25 we can write like this, 5 all square. Okay, so we can use this identity here. So first of all we need to convert this question into identical form, so x square minus 2xy plus y square, because here in between negative sign is that, that's why we use this identity, and we need to convert this number into this identity. So first of all 4x square, so in place of we can write like this, 2x all square, right? After that 2 into first bracket into second bracket plus 25, that means 5 all square, right? Now we need to write this first bracket here, so 2x, and second bracket here it is 5, and we need to check 5 to the 10 to the 20x is there, so our setup is correct. Okay, so 2x all square minus 2 in bracket 2x into 5 plus 5 all square, so directly we can write the identity, first bracket 2x, then this negative sign, and last term 5 all square, so our final answer is 2x minus 5 all square. Okay, we need to convert this 2x all square, then minus 2 first bracket 2x, second bracket blank, and here 5 all square, so that we need to write here. We need to check this, from that we can write the identity, x minus y all square, that means first bracket 2x negative sign and second bracket 5 all square, so here all square is already given to you, we need to write here 2x minus 5. Okay, so 2x minus 5 we need to write here, so option D is the correct answer. Okay, after that question number 14, 4x square plus 11x minus 3 is which type of polynomial? So here we need to check the degree of this polynomial, that means highest power of variable. Here highest power of variable it is 2, right? X square, so highest power of variable 2, and if degree is equals to 2, then it is called quadratic polynomial, right? For linear equation we have degree 1, for constant we have degree 0, for cubic we have degree 3, and for quadratic we have degree 2. Here we have degree 2, so option D, quadratic polynomial, is the correct answer. Okay, After that, question number 15. If x plus 3 is a factor of x cube plus 12x square plus ax plus 60, then a is equals to. So here it is given that x plus 3 is one factor of this polynomial, right? So definitely if we divide this polynomial by its factor, we get the remainder 0. So we can use the remainder theorem here. This is the equation of chapter number 2. So first of all, you need to take x plus 3 is equals to 0. Now transfer this 3 here. So x is equals to minus 3. Now this value we need to put in this polynomial, and we need to take the value of this polynomial is equals to 0. That means remainder 0. And from that we can find the value of a. Okay, so p of minus 3 is equals to minus 3 all cube plus 12x square, so minus 3 all square, plus ax, so a into minus 3, and plus 60. And here in place of p of minus 3 we need to write the 0 because we have the remainder 0. Now minus 3 all cube, it is minus 27, 3 cube 27, and negative remains as it is negative. Here minus 3 all square, it is plus 9, and 12 into 9, 108. Right, 3 square 9, 12 9s are 108. Here minus 3 multiply a, it is minus 3a and plus 60. Now we need to find the value of a, so transfer this minus 3a to the left hand side, so it becomes plus 3a. Okay, now here we need to solve this numbers. 108 plus 60, it is 168, and minus 27, 168 minus 27, you will get the answer 141. Okay, so 3a is equals to 141. 3a is equals to 141. Now for finding out the value of a, we need to transfer this 3 to the right hand side, so it goes to the denominator. So 141 divided by 3. So here 3 4s are 12, 2 remainder 21, 3 7s are, so our answer of a is equals to 47. Okay, so a is equals to 47. Option a is correct answer. Done. After that, question number 16. A is equals to 5, b is equals to 7, c is equals to 6, and d is equals to 10. Then the point a minus b, c minus d is the point of which quadrant? So we can find the quadrant by using this sign, right? By using this sign. So here we need to check the sign of both the coordinate. Our first coordinate is a minus b. So a is 5, 5 minus 7. It's a minus 2. Here c minus d, so 6 minus 10. 6 minus 10 minus 4. So our final coordinates minus 2 and minus 4. That means both have negative sign, right? Both the coordinate have negative sign. This is the condition of third quadrant, because in third quadrant x and y both are negative, right? So here our answer is third quadrant. So option C is the correct answer. Okay. Then next, number 17. Point 2.8 and 4.9 lies in which quadrant? Here both are decimal number, but we do not need to check it. We just only need to see the sign of this coordinate. So both have positive sign, right? Plus 2.8 and plus 4.9 both have positive sign. Now both have positive sign, so this is the condition of first quadrant, right? Both have positive sign, so this is the condition of first quadrant, right? So here our answer is option A, first quadrant. Number 18, the coordinates of origin are. These things we already discussed in theory part. Origin, that means this point, right? And origin have the coordinates 0 0, so that option C is the correct answer. Okay, coordinate of origin is 0 0. After that, question number 19. One of the solution of the linear equation 3x plus 5y is equals to 30 is. Okay, one of the solution of the linear equation of 3x plus 5y is equal to 30 is. So here we need to find the solution. Now solution means what? Solution always satisfy the equation. Solution always satisfy the equation. Okay, that means if we put the value of x is 10 and value of y is 0, so here we need to check for 10 0. So put the x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 0. So 3x in place of x we need to write 10 plus 5y in place of y we need to write 0. Now 10 into 3 30 plus 5 into 0 0. So 30 plus 0 30, and that we have on the right hand side. That means this is the correct answer. So here our option A is correct answer. Now check the other option too. So 3, now x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 10. So 3 into 0 0, 10 5s are 50. Our answer is 50, but here we have 30. That's why this is the wrong answer. Right? Now check the 3 5. So 3 into x, x3 plus 5 into y, y5. So 3 3s are 9, 5 5s are 25, 25 plus 9 34, which is not equals to 30. That's why this is the wrong answer. Okay, then 0 0. Now 3 into 0 plus 5 into 0. So 3 into 0 0, 5 into 0 0, 0 plus 0 0. That's why this is even the wrong answer. So our correct answer is option A, 10 0. Okay. Then next is question number 20. If 5 2 is one of the solution of equation x plus 3y is equals to k, then k is equals to. Now here it is given that this is the solution, so solution always satisfy the equation. So put the value of x is equals to 5 and y is equals to 2. So here x plus 3y, so in place of x 5 and here 3y, so in place of y 2 is equals to k. Now 3 2s are 6, so 5 plus 6 is equals to k. So k is equals to 6 plus 5, 11. So here our answer is option B, 11. Okay. Option B, 11 is the correct answer. After that, question number 21. For the equation f is equals to 9 by 5c plus 32. F and c are numerically equal when f is equals to. This is the question of chapter 4 and we already solved this question in the video. So here it is given that f and c both are equal. Okay, f and c both are equal. So here in place of c put the value of f. Okay, so f is equals to 9 by 5c, but in place of c put the 5 here and plus 32. That is given in here, right? Now take the LCM here. So 5 multiply f, 5f is equals to 9f plus 32 multiply 5. 32 multiply 5, it is 160. Right? Now transfer 160 to the left hand side and 5f to the right hand side. So plus 160, if we transfer to the left hand side, it becomes negative. Here we have 9f, and if we transfer this 5f to the right hand side, it is become negative. So here minus 160 is equals to 9f minus 5f. 9f minus 5f, it is 4f, right? So 4f is equals to minus 160. 4f is equals to minus 160. Now transfer this 4 to the right hand side, it goes to the denominator, so divide by 4. So f is equals to 160 by 4, it's a 40, and plus minus minus, so minus 40. So f is equals to minus 40. This is the correct answer. That means option D. Okay, D is equals to minus 40. After that, question number 22. If the graph of equation 3x plus ay is equals to 7 passes through the point 3 minus 1, then the value of a is equals to. Okay, if the graph is passing through the point, so definitely this point will satisfy the equation of graph. So we can put x is equals to 3 and y is equals to minus 1 the equation, and from that we can get the value of a. Okay, so put the value first of all 3x in place of x, 3 plus ay in place of y minus 1 is equals to 7. Now here 3 3s are 9, plus minus minus a 1s are a is equals to 7. We need to find the value of a, so transfer a to the right hand side and 7 to the left hand side. So here 9 minus 7 is equals to a. Okay, so a is equals to 9 minus 7, 2. So here our answer is a is equals to 2. Okay, so a is equals to 2 is the correct answer. So option B is the correct answer. Okay, option B is correct answer of for value of a. After that, question number 23, given two distinct point, that means here we have two different point, that is how many lines that passes through them. Okay, at least one, two, at least two, otherwise unique. So if we have 2 points, so only one line we can pass through this 2 point. Okay, from this 2 point only one line can pass. So here our answer is 1, that means unique line. Okay, here we cannot pass more than one line here. So here our answer is option D, unique line. These things we already discussed in chapter number 5, right? After that, question number 24, the edges of a surface. If we think about the cuboid, edges of a surface, so this is called edge, right? It is one line. This is even one edge. It is even one line. This is even edge. It is even one line. So we can say that the edges of a surface are lines. Edges of a surface are lines, right? Vertex is points. So here our answer is lines. Okay, edges of a surface are lines. Then 25, a solid has size and location. We cannot specify the location of solid, right? It can be anywhere. Then shape and location, it is even wrong because location is there. Shape, size and location, it is even wrong because location we cannot fix. But shape and size is the correct answer, right? A solid have shape, that means cuboid shape, cone shape, and size, that means its dimension, length, breadth, and height. So a solid has shape and size. Okay, so option D is correct. So students, here our solution is over. If you have any doubt in this solution, you can write down in comment section. I will give you the answer. Okay, thank you.